Hi there, Jen Roque here from StampCampWithJen.com. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Summerfield, Florida near the Villages, and welcome to this week's Facebook Live. If you're new here, I go live every Monday on my Facebook page at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I'd love for you to join us, invite your friends to join us if you're able to. If you don't have access to Facebook or you don't get a chance to catch me live, I always upload the replay on my YouTube channel so you can watch it anytime. And now that Facebook has limits to how long they are storing their videos, it's a good thing that I put them on YouTube because after 30 days now, any live videos that are on Facebook pages will be deleted. So I always upload the replay to my YouTube channel so you can go back and watch it anytime. Hi Roz, hi Lori, thanks so much for joining us today. It's going to be spring-like today in Minnesota. Finally, right, Lori? It actually got colder here today, so I woke up and I had to turn the air off because it was too chilly. You remembered, Carol. Thanks so much for joining. That's awesome. How's everybody's weekend? I can't believe it's March already. It's my birthday month. I am turning 40 this month, if you can believe it. I always tease my husband because I say, I get a whole month long. It's my birthday month. We celebrate me. And then he always says, yeah, we're not doing that. And then the day after my birthday, he says, it's my birthday month because his birthday's in April. And I say, no, it doesn't start till April 1st for you. You don't get to just hijack my birthday month and March. You have to wait until April. So hi Mom, thanks for joining us. Janine Nuttall, that's my mom. She's always a good supporter. She is going with me to On Stage soon. That's next week. I can't believe it. I was laughing because I was talking to her the other day and she thought it was in a week when I was talking to her last week, and it was 2 weeks later, and she was panicking. Oh, I have to get all this stuff done. I said, you got an extra week. Don't worry about it. It's always the best when you have extra time, not less time than you thought. So let me bring this up on my Facebook page here. So I've got a really cool card to share with you guys today. I know I probably say that every week, but this is one of my favorites. I've made it before. And this is a resized version, so it'll actually fit in an envelope now. But before we get into that, we're going to go over a couple things, a few reminders of things that are coming up. And also we're going to talk about in colors a little bit today. I was going to wait to talk about in colors, but I don't think that's a good idea. I think we should start talking about them now. So we're going to talk about those here in a couple minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around so I can show you my desktop view here and you can see what I see. Hi Vera, thanks so much for joining us. Let's see here. I move things around so I have more room. So grab a little drink, a little snack, whatever you need, and join us. Take a little sip here. My cold coffee. I didn't warm it up before I started. That's all right. All right, let's get started here. I'm going to turn you guys around. There we go. And then my husband told me this morning his check engine light was on in his car. I'm like, oh, great. It's always something. My window was acting up in my car, and I thought I was going to have to take it in to get looked at, and then somehow it fixed itself. Like it wasn't automatically going up and down like it was supposed to, and then I messed with it a little bit. Now it's working fine. I don't know what happened, but his check engine light came on, and I'm like, oh, there's always something, isn't there? All right, so our first matter of business today is online exclusives. We have new products coming out tomorrow, March 4th. So there are lots of beautiful products. This is going to be a hot seller. This hydrangea set here is gorgeous. The paper, everything. So as with any new products when we have them coming out, I always encourage you to order those early so that you get anything that's on your wish list before it goes on back order, because anything that's popular has a good chance of going on back order, and then you have to wait to order it when it comes back in stock. So tomorrow, March 4th. So if you're on my email list, which I always encourage you to join, and you sign up to get Stampin' Up! Promotion information, this will go out in an email tomorrow. And you'll get a link with where to shop and just a reminder to go check it out. So it's pretty easy to find on the Stampin' Up! Website, though. There's a section in the online store. It says online exclusives, and you'll be able to see everything. There will also be 2 new kits coming out as well, so you'll be able to see those too. There's a gremlin in my car, Roz. I honestly was starting to think so because it was very, very strange. All right, so hi, Joan from Washington. Thanks for joining us. As you guys probably know by now, I am participating in this awesome fundraiser that these 2 wonderful ladies have organized. Marcy Bessaker from the US and California and Donna Gray from Australia. They're Stampin' Up! Demonstrators that came together and have reached out to a bunch of other demonstrators asking us to present special projects for people that donate, that provide a $20 donation that goes to the Glenn Beck Mercury One Foundation in support of California wildfire relief efforts. So we had the live videos over the weekend, and anybody that donates can go back and watch these presentations as much as possible because they're YouTube videos. They're links to YouTube videos. So it's not, even though it's on Facebook, it won't be deleted like a live video will be because YouTube videos will last forever. It just has the links in there. So the project that I made, I just want to show you guys so you have a sneak peek. Maybe this will entice you to donate and join the group. But this is the card that I made for the fundraiser, and all of the measurements and supplies and the video are in that group, and it's exclusive to that group. So if you want to learn how to make this card, I suggest going in there and making a donation so you can get access to this. But this is just one of many, many fabulous projects that are in that fundraising group. There's over 30, I think, different videos. So it's a great way to raise efforts and help people that were affected by the California wildfires. And like I said, you'll be able to go back and watch the videos and have all the information as much as possible because you get, once you make your donation, you'll get invited to an exclusive Facebook group where all that information is stored. Now, if you make a donation and you don't see the email inviting you to join the group, then just send me an email at stampcampwithjen@gmail.com and I will send you the invitation for it. Or I'll put you in contact with somebody that can. Yeah, that's right, Mom. Sarah Douglas, the CEO of Stampin' Up!, was even in there with a sneak peek of some new products that are coming out. So there's lots of great stuff in there. It's a really great cause, too. So I highly encourage you to do that if that's something you're interested in. Bingo, bingo, bingo. So we're going to have Stamping Bingo. In person is going to be April 5th. And at my house, or you can join me virtually from 7 to 9 in a private Zoom room. It's so much fun. It is $30 and you will get a little goodie bag with products. We're going to make some cards, play games, and the prizes will be new product from the March online exclusives that are coming out tomorrow. Now, excuse me, spoiler alert, if you want to see the cards that we're going to be making in Bingo, if you don't want to see them, walk away for a couple minutes, pause your video, fast forward it if you're watching the replay, whatever. But this is a sneak peek of the cards we're going to make. We're using the mixed media suite to make some cards here. And they're all fairly simple, but very pretty, easy to replicate cards. And this is a little pocket card here. I love this suite so much. It's just so pretty. So these are the cards we're going to make. You're going to get the kits to make all these cards, as well as supplies and paper and stuff like that in your goodie bag to put these cards together. So The deadline to sign up is March 10th because I need to get the order in before I go to on stage. So if you're interested or if you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'd love to have you for bingo. It's going to be lots of fun. You'll get the tutorials for the cards ahead of time so you can cut everything, and then we'll play, we play 5 games of bingo, 4 regular games where you can only win once, and then we do a jackpot coverall bingo for the 5th game, and that person will get a prize plus any Stampin' Rewards from orders placed during the bingo event, and then all the prizes will be mailed out afterwards. But you'll get your goodie bag and your bingo boards and everything ahead of time so that you'll be ready to go and you can play bingo and stamp with us ahead of time or during the event. So like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to me, but I've had a couple of reminders. I'll send another email last call here in about a week or so when March 10th comes around. But we'd love to have you. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. Hi, Evelyn. Just making sure I didn't miss any comments here. Okay. And then, okay, so today I want to talk a little bit about in colors before we get started. So, in colors, with the annual catalog coming out next week, well, not next week, for demonstrators at On Stage, we'll get to see the annual catalog. So I'll get to see it when I go to On Stage next week. And I'll get a sneak peek of all the new in colors that are coming out in the 2025 to 2027. Oh my God, that sounds like such a long ways away, doesn't it? But with that, the current in colors are going away. So let me see, 135 here, I think is where the current in colors are. So I'm just grabbing my annual catalog here. So these are the regular colors. And I wanted to talk about, okay, so here's the in colors on page 139 here of our annual catalog. So these colors, Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, Moody Mauve, and Pebbled Path, these 5 are going to be retiring when the new catalog comes out. I've already noticed that the 5-pack of the ink pads, the little combo pack, are low inventory. And then even the 5-pack of the current ink pads are low inventory. So if there's anything, especially with these that are about to retire, if there's anything that you want, I always encourage you to order early because these are only available while supplies last. Get your ink pads, get your ink refills, get your markers, your paper, your designer series paper, any of the coordinating twine or embellishments, because I think the next round of last chance products is April 4th, and I can guarantee you all that stuff is going to be on there. So start writing your wish list now, start keeping an eye on these products because once they're gone for good and they're not coming back. So I always get somebody that waits until the last minute and then they go, oh, I need the ink refill. Oh, I need a pack of cardstock, and it's too late. It's already on back orders or it's already out of stock. So make sure to start writing those down now and keep an eye on them. I would wait until April to get them because if they become discounted during the last chance products, that's when that's going to happen. I think April 1st is when, if my calculations are correct, don't quote me, but I'm estimating April 1st it's usually the first Tuesday of the month, every other month when they do last chance products. So I think that's April 1st. So make sure that you start looking at that stuff now. One of the new, yes, that's right, Evelyn. So one of the new, in the March online exclusives, there is a pack of paper that has a color in it that a bunch of people noticed. Hey, that's not a current color. I think it's Strawberry Slush in English. She said rhubarb red is the German translation. Strawberry Slush is the color, Evelyn. That's a good point. So we already know one of the new in colors coming out, and that's a bright, pretty color. So I'm hoping that a lot of the bright colors like we had this year will get another good set of bright colors. That's a good point, Evelyn. Thank you. So yeah, so that's just, I'm going to be kind of harping on this every week, making sure to bring this to your attention. I want people to start thinking about this because once these go on the last chance products, which I can almost guarantee is going to happen in April, they're going to get snatched up quick. They always do. So start making your wish list now. Start looking at the inventory online. And if before April something goes low inventory, I would suggest just grabbing it because there's no guarantee that when the last chance products start, they're going to restock it. So just get it now, get it early, and that way you don't regret later not buying it. Okay, so that's my spiel about in colors. That's every week we're going to talk about that. You'll try to remember the English name. Just think strawberries, spring, strawberry slush. Slushies are like summertime, strawberry slush. Okay, so the big project that we're doing today. So I made this one a few years, well, not a few years ago, last year. I looked it up. It was last January I made this. This is a multi-panel pop-up card. And it's so cute, but it doesn't fit in a regular envelope to mail. So we made this in my Stamp Camp classes and everybody was like, can you resize it? Or I was like, well, you could make an envelope to fit in it, which yeah, you could, but that's kind of a pain. I'd rather just have it a size that you could fit in an envelope. So I resized it, and this is the one that we're going to have. You still have it displayed, Mom? So my mom is called B by all of her grandkids, and I think that's because when I was stationed overseas in the military and my son was little, we would FaceTime or video chat or whatever you called it back then. And she would do the buzz, buzz, buzz. And so he would always say B. And so that kind of stuck and she became B. So that everything with B's is what we give my mom for like gifts and stuff because we call her B. So I made 2 versions of the smaller one. Those little cows, I love the cows, but I wanted to do one with some of the newer products as well. So this one is the one I'm going to make and show you how to do, but I did come up with 2 different versions. So you can see, and I'll have pictures and the product lists when the tutorial goes out tomorrow to my email subscribers. Now, that brings me to another point. If you're not on my email list, get on my email list to get the project tutorial. If you found me after this video and tutorial go out, all you have to do is once you join my email list, just send me an email and say, hey, I missed your tutorial. Can you send it to me? And I'll send it to you usually within about 24 hours. Okay. So I like this so much because like I said, it fits in an envelope. It's funny because it's shorter, it's a little bit fatter, but you can fold it to the side and you can fit it right in an envelope. Let me get an envelope to show you. That was the one thing I forgot to grab before I came over here. So you just fold it off to the side here. And then this is a dirty envelope. I'm going to throw this out anyway. And then carefully tuck it in here. And then you'll fold the flap over and it fits perfectly in there. So we are going to make this. I'm going to show you how to do that. And then the back, this one for the cows, I did It's Your Special Day and then milk it for all it's worth. And I did the little milk can down there. And then this one, I did lots of love and I left the back blank. I tried stamping some stuff, but it didn't look how I wanted it to. So I just decided to leave it blank. Now this is the Pebbled Path, the color that's retiring with the current in colors that are going out. So if you like this, this is one of those colors to think about. Yeah, B is definitely a unique grandma name. I haven't met any other grandmas called B. She is the only one I've heard of. So for this project, we're using the Delightful Wishes bundle from the mini catalog here. It is on page, let's see if I can bring it up real quick, page 35 of the mini catalog. Right here. So in this suite, there's the little tiny bee trinkets, which we're using on this card. Those are currently on back order, But I looked right before I came on here. They're due back in stock like the first week of April, but that's always a fluid, that's like an estimated date. So they could always come back in stock sooner. So just, again, keep an eye on that. That's just an estimate. Sometimes the shipments come in earlier and they're back in stock sooner. Lori is called Auntie Bee by her nephews. One was scared of bees, so she made him a bee swatter with a fake bee. Aw, that's cute. So, and then this paper is also on back order, but it's expected to be back in stock next week as well. This vellum is beautiful. It comes with this bundle that we're going to use today. And then there's that skinny Daffodil Delight ribbon as well. So this mini catalog, you have until the end of April, I believe. I didn't double check exactly which date, but I think it's the end of April or beginning of May to get the products from this. And then whatever's retiring will go on the last chance products list, probably in the next round. All right, so let's get our paper here. So we are going to use, I didn't cut these pieces. So I'm going to show you how to cut all this stuff. So be a little patient with me here. This is going to take a minute, but I wanted to show you, because it's such a unique card, I wanted to show you how to cut the pieces. So we're going to use Daffodil Delight as our base here, and we're going to cut it at 4 1/4. See if you guys can see that here. 4 1/4 by 7. And you can write the measurements down, but like I said, all these measurements will be in the tutorial along with the supply list, so you don't need to write those down. All right, and then we're gonna score this at 1 1/2 with that light gray scoring blade, and 5 1/2. Okay. And then to make the little angles, first we're going to fold and burnish. And you're gonna notice it's not gonna meet up in the middle. That's okay, don't panic. I know our initial thought is, oh, it should match up. I probably cut something wrong. No, it's perfectly fine. You didn't do anything wrong. So we're gonna flip this over. I'm gonna grab a pencil and my ruler. All right, and then I'm using these pink pearl erasers. I have a link for these in my Amazon store, and I will link them in the description below. These are some of my favorite erasers. They erase so nicely, and I mean, they're always recommended on my son's school shopping list, and I can see why, because they erase very, very nicely. Okay, so from the score line, we're gonna go 1/2 inch over to the right here and make a pencil mark. And then from the top edge of our card, we're going to measure down 2 inches and make a pencil mark. And then we're going to cut from those 2 angles. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm just going to mark everything before I start cutting. So from this score line, we're going to go out 1/2 inch. And then from the top edge, we're going to mark 2 inches down, and then we'll cut between those pencil marks as well. It's hard to see. So you have a pencil mark here, pencil mark there, here, and here. So we'll grab our paper trimmer again. And line up those pencil marks. Can you guys see that? Okay. So line up those pencil marks so they're in the track, and then cut. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. Cut. And then we'll bring in our little pink pearl eraser and erase those pencil marks. All right, so now we need to make our little panels here. So we've got 3 panels. And if you look, they all line up on the bottom. So they're all different sizes, okay? I'm going to show you exactly how to put those together. Now, for our paper, I want to point out something too. So this one you can kind of see, you can see the purple a little bit on the background because these I just did 1-inch strips. But I decided after I put this together, I didn't like how much of the base you could see underneath the DSP. So what I did when I put this card together was I made the designer series paper panels a little bit longer on these 3 sections so that you don't see that yellow base on the panel there. So those measurements are what are going to be in the tutorial or the panels for this, because I don't want you to be able to have a naked card base. So that's what you should do. Now, if you have 1-inch pieces and that's all you have, obviously that'll work fine, because you can see here it works okay when it's standing up straight. It's just when somebody kind of looks inside a little bit, it can kind of show the panels a little bit more. So I wasn't a big fan of that. So I made these a little bit longer when I made the floral card, but you do whatever you have. You work with what you have. Now, I did want to show you the paper if you haven't seen this before. This is the Floral Delight Designer Series paper. It's beautiful spring paper with the little marigolds, and it's got lots of bright colors here. It's like Pool Party, Daffodil Delight, Old Olive, all these different. There's like a Daffodil Delight gingham in here, which gingham is always popular. These are so pretty. I love these papers. This is the pattern that we're using for this card today. And there's this one. And I think this is the other pattern. So those are the different patterns in the paper there. Very, very pretty. And then the vellum, I'm going to show you the vellum real quick too. The vellum is just as pretty, if not more. It doesn't have as many patterns, but it's very, very pretty. It's got more blues in it than the DSP does. So there's that one. There's this piece here with the blues and the yellows. Very, very pretty. And then I think almost out of, it's also got this blue gingham. So you have yellow gingham in the designer series paper, and then you have like a blue gingham vellum in the vellum paper. It's very, very pretty. The vellum paper is available right now, but the designer series paper is the one that's on back order. But it's expected to be back next week, so it should be fine. All right, so for our panels, our cardstock panels here, we need 1 1/4 by 5. So we need a 5-inch piece here. And actually, I'll do 1 1/4 here. And then we need to score on 1/2 inch on both sides. 1/2 inch. So that's one panel. And then the next one we need a couple pieces here. We need 3 1/4 by 5. I don't think this is quite big enough now. So we need 2 1/4 by 5. So we're gonna cut a 5-inch piece. Oops. And we need 2 1/4. And again, we're gonna score on the 1/2 inch mark on both sides. And we need 3 1/4 by 5. So just using a bunch of scraps that I have here. And then again, we're gonna score on the 1/2 inch mark here. Okay, so we've got 3 panels here, 3 1/4 by 5, 2 1/4 by 5, and 1 1/4 by 5. And we scored on 1/2 inch on both sides. We need those. And then our DSP, we need 4 pieces. The first one, we're gonna cut it at 3 3/4. Okay, and then we need a piece that is 1 inch. So I'm using the right hand side here and cutting 1 inch. And then we need 3 pieces that are 1 1/2 inches. So I'll use this side here. So 1 1/2, 1 1/2. That's about 1 1/2. Okay, so 3 that are 1 1/2 by 3 3/4, and 1 that's 1 by 3 3/4. Okay. So we will fold and burnish these on their score lines. So does anybody have a favorite fun fold card? I know there's so many different fun fold cards out there. Fun fold cards are one of my favorite things. My husband, I almost always have to make him a fun fold, because if I just make him a plain flat card, he's bored with it. He's always like, I want something that moves and is exciting. All right, so what we're gonna do is the smallest one, that's 1 by 3 1/4, we are going to stick right in the center of this the smallest panel right here. And I'm gonna do this before I put everything together. It's just a little bit easier if you adhere it first than trying to do it later. So I'm gonna use my Stampin' Seal Plus. Now, a lot of people are really scared to use Stampin' Seal Plus. I love it because it's got little grooves in the applicator. And honestly, as long as you just take your time sliding it and you don't twist it, like flick it off to the side, you just pull straight up or straight back, those little grooves will separate and it will pull away from the paper without you having any issues. So, and then when I go to put it on, it is very strong. So like I said, I'm just going to push straight down, slide back, and then lift up. And you can see all those little lines in between. Those are like little score lines or cut lines, and it will separate itself. You don't need to flick it off to the side. I know that's an old habit we have from the old glue runner, tape runners, but you don't really need to do that. And then when I go to adhere it on the paper, I just lightly line it up. And then once I know I have it where I need it, then I press it down. And that's all you need to do. But if you just practice that and then use your fingers, these little grooves to hold your fingers, and that's the little top part here, you put your pointer finger on there. And that's really all there is to it. But I know a lot of people struggle with this. I think they just need to practice. So. But I always lightly lay down my paper, and then once I know I have it where I want it, I just press it down. So with these panels, you may notice I'm just kind of I'm putting it towards one edge and giving it like, it's probably about 1/8 of an inch or so all the way around that border. And that's exactly where it needs to be placed so that when we line it up, you can see it'll be enough to show the paper behind each panel here. So then for the base here, with our flaps coming up, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put our panel toward this top edge, just give it a nice little border here. And that's where it needs to be. So we need to now take tear and tape and use this up on our little 1/2 inch pieces here. We are going to stick some tear and tape down. So just like that. So you want your panel and then your tear and tape right there. And then those flaps fold towards the back. That's the correct way. So if you need to stop the video so that you make sure that you have your tear and tape exactly where you need it, then that's a good idea to go ahead and do that now. But that's what they should look like. And once I have all the tear and tape on, I'll stop and put everything on the screen. So if you need to stop while you put your panels together, you can do that. Okay. So anytime I put tear and tape down, I always take my bone folder and just kind of press it and make sure it's nice and tightly adhered to my paper. Just like that. Okay, so like I said, these are the panels. This is the card base. If you need to stop the video and make sure you have everything where it needs to be, the panel should be on the inside with the flaps coming up, and then these panels should have the flaps going backwards, going down. Okay, so stop the video here if you need to. I'm going to grab my take your pick tool. All right, so to put this together, we're going to take the tear and tape off of one side here. And what you want to do is you want to line this up so that the bottom edge of the panel lines up with the bottom of the card. And then this flap lines up right into that score line. And then you're just going to fold that flap over and press. And that'll be exactly where it needs to be. So we'll take the other panel off here, the other tear and tape backing. And then again, we're just going to fold that panel over and press. And there's your first one. So neat. All right, and then this is the second one. This goes in next. So we're going to take one of the tear and tape backings off. And again, try to line it up as best you can so that that bottom edge is with the bottom edge of the card. And then you're going to line that up here. So when I lined this panel up, I took this panel and lined it up against this piece right here, if that makes sense. Now this gets a little tricky because you can't really just fold it over like you did before. Now you will be able to once you adhere it, but you can't fold it over to adhere it. Well, I guess you could actually, but it's easier to just kind of take that little flap and fold it down. And then again, I'm lining it up right against the edge of that panel that's already in there. And then it should be good right about there. And then you can fold it over and press just like that. So you can kind of see you've got that panel, this panel lines up on top of that and so forth. Okay. So now for the last one, I'll take one of the panels off. Now this part, it should line up about with the edge of this card base. It may go up just a little bit, and that's okay if it does, but it'll line up pretty closely to the edge here. And then we can, once you have it in, you can press it down and do the same thing with this edge here. All right. And then we'll do this and line it up. The big thing is to just make sure that you have it lined up along that bottom edge too. So all the panels will line up and then it just stands straight up like that. Okay, so that's the base. Now we have a piece of basic white that's going to be the back. Now this is 3 3/4 by 4. So it's almost a perfect square. So you want to make sure you have it face up before you adhere it. You have it in the right position before you adhere it. So I like to line it up first and then just kind of flip it towards me to put the adhesive on so that I know exactly which direction it's supposed to go in. And then we'll put this down here, again, lightly laying it up and press. So that's the back. So that's where you can write your message to whoever you're giving this to. So now we're going to make our flowers here. So I didn't do the die cutting ahead of time because I want to show you how to put those flowers together. Because honestly, the first time I did it, I was like, how the heck do these things go together? So we're going to grab, I used Pretty in Pink and Melon Mambo for the flowers. And then for the leaves, I used Granny Apple Green, and Garden Green. So I'm going to show you how to put those together next. Okay, so I grabbed my mini machine here. Now we're going to use adhesive sheets. If you've never used adhesive sheets before, these are one of my favorite things. They work so nicely when you have something like this that has a lot of fine detail. Much easier than using liquid glue, I promise you. Okay, so, and if you're not aware of where the adhesive sheets are, look at they're in the annual catalog. Let's see, I think with the adhesives is where they should be. Yep. So page 117 of the annual catalog, this is where the adhesive sheets are listed with all the information. They're 6 inches by 12 inches, and you get 12 sheets. Now, when you get these, they have these little lines right here that you can kind of use to peel the backings off. What we're going to do for this Melon Mambo piece, I just cut a 2-inch strip off of here. And I'm going to grab a piece of Melon Mambo. And so we're going to grab some Melon Mambo and some Pretty in Pink. Whatever scraps you have, this is the perfect time to use your scraps up. Okay. So I'll just grab some Pretty in Pink here, and then this is a piece that I used earlier when I was making the project. So I'm just going to grab another strip here of the Melon Mambo. So for the Melon Mambo, we want, and this is a perfect size actually. We want to put that on the back of this Melon Mambo piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these lines to pull the backing off. And the sticky part stays there, not on these little tabs that you peel off. So you will take that piece and just line it up. You're basically making a sticker when you do this. So we're sticking this to a piece of Melon Mambo, and I'm going to do this one more time and take another piece of the backing off here. And actually, I'll just take it all off because we're just going to press it all down here. And we're going to just press and smooth it out, okay? And then I will cut the excess off because we just want the part that has the adhesive. So we're going to grab our mini embossing machine here. Now, if you've never used this, the trick with these is I actually use this number 3 plate as my base plate. And then the cutting plates, I put one underneath the paper, the dies, and then when I put the top one on, you want to make it so that middle plate kind of goes back a little bit so that it grabs all of these plates, okay? So we are going to cut, I've got the dies here. So this large flat die here is going to be the flower that we're going to use. And I can put both of these on here at the same time. And then we're going to cut our Melon Mambo here. And again, we're going to pull that middle plate back a little bit and then push this one towards the top. And then I'm going to put this in my machine. Oh, I got a little piece coming off the edge there. I don't want that to stick up anything. All right, there we go. Now this will grab it and we'll just run it right through here. All right, so that piece is right there. And we've got this one right here. And we need 3 of these, so we're gonna die cut 3. I can put one more on here. This should pop right out. If it doesn't, that's fine, because we can just pull this off of the sticker sheet and it should take most of the little pieces out that we don't want anyway. Oh my goodness. And then some of these got stuck here. That's all right. So I'll show you real quick, since I already pulled this off here. To put these flowers together, you'll notice there is like a big V right here. Well, where that is on this piece is right next to this petal that's almost full, and then the petal that has like a big cut out of it. So you want to line those up where that V is, right like that. And that, I have found, is the easiest way to line these up. And then once you do that, you will stick these, it will all fall into place. And that is how they line up, just like that. Oh, that's a good idea, Evelyn. Evelyn says adhesive sheets are a must for her. She always has a 6 by 6 inch piece of paper prepared with her adhesive sheets with the colors she used the most. That's a good idea. A good way to make sure that you're ready to go. I love these adhesive sheets. All right, so we're gonna die cut 2 more flowers. I love these adhesive sheets. Some people have a hard time with them. They have a hard time getting the backings off, but honestly, I don't find it all that bad. I think it's pretty easy once you usually just use like scissors, something sharp, like a take your pick tool or scissors or something, and that is usually the key. And once you do that, you're good to go. But that's a good idea, Evelyn. Just have 6 by 6 pieces of cardstock that you know you're going to use, and just have the adhesive sheets already on the back. That's smart. And then you're ready to go for whatever die cutting you need. I love these adhesive sheets. They're so nice. Alrighty. We have another one. We're going to cut one more flower set, and then we'll do the leaves next. All right. Put these on here. I'm going to get flower here, and then one more flower set right there. Do that like that. Okay. Just roll this through. I hope they never get rid of adhesive sheets for stuff like this where you have a lot of little pieces. It's just too hard to try to use liquid glue, because then it gets all over the place and just makes a huge mess, and I can't do that. All right. So I get these out here, this paper. All right. So again, to just show you real quick, because this one's coming off as well. It kind of works out when the adhesive sheets don't cut all the way through, because then you can just you can just peel these off and then stick them right on where you need them. And a lot of times, like this one, it's pulling all the pieces that we don't need in there too out of there. There's a couple little pieces that still got stuck. We'll just take those little pieces out. One more. I have to take my husband up to the car dealership probably after this is over. I made him an appointment at 1:30. I'm like, man, that's cutting it close. I have to pick my son up at 2 something. So it's going to be a busy day. Hopefully it's just that he needs an oil change. I don't know. Check engine light's never good though. Always makes me nervous. All right, so where that big V is again, that's where we're gonna adhere. Remember the V here, there's this almost a full petal, and then that big piece cut out there. We're gonna adhere that together. And then it should all fall into place for the most part. Some of these you might need to finagle a little bit, but they should line up pretty perfectly, just like that. Okay. Hopefully I don't have gremlins in my car. Jen's mom is a demo, Lori. I convinced her to join my team finally. She was a customer for a while. It was funny because she used to be a demo when we all lived in Maryland. And then I would order from her, and then she dropped her demonstratorship, and then I became a demo and finally talked her into becoming a demo on my team. Here we go. So I just use scissors, but you could use take your pick. I like to use this pokey end and pull the backing off. And oh, I should have poked these pieces out first. That's a better tip, is to try to poke all these little pieces that are stuck in here. Try to poke those out so they don't get stuck in here. Here. And this is her first time going to on stage, which, yep, she's going to on stage with me. This is her first time going to on stage. Last year was my first time going to on stage, and I loved it. I made so many new friends, and we're actually staying with some of them in a Verbo. It's kind of like an Airbnb that we rented. But most of us are driving, so we can just drive back and forth to the convention center. It's like a 10-minute drive, I think. So we're going to do that. And one of the girls, her daughter is coming, and her daughter's about my age, but her daughter just wants to get a break from her kids. So I think she's just going to drive us back and forth to the convention center and just like nap during the day while we're on stage. There we go. All right, so again, one more time just to show you. Take that V and the V here on our die and line those up. That is the best way to line these up. Okay. And it falls into place perfectly. Oh, I love it. Okay, so we've got our 3 flowers. Now, the leaf, I have one already done, so you get a little bit of a break. But I used Granny Apple Green and Garden Green, and I have some more strips here, some scraps, and we're gonna take what size did I use? About 3/4 of an inch a piece that I cut down. And whenever I cut it so those lines are going horizontally, and I just have a big strip that I can use. I try to as much as possible because it's hard to get the backings off to stick them to something if you just cut like this little piece without having that little, the little line to peel it off of. So we're gonna take these off, and I'm gonna stick these down here. And don't really need all of it, but that's all right. Just use it up. Actually, I'll cut this little piece right here because that's all I need. And I'm gonna try to stick this back on so I can save it. Love my adhesive sheets. All right, I'm gonna cut this little piece here because this is all we need. All right, and then we'll cut a couple of leaves. Grabbing our embossing machine, I have those. Okay. You guys are so sweet and so patient to sit with me while I die cut. I was gonna die cut a bunch of stuff ahead of time, but I was like, you know, I really wanted to show you the adhesive sheet stuff. So my recommendation, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna cut off most of that excess so we know it has adhesive sheet on it. We don't need that extra. Okay, So the leaves, we're gonna take this solid leaf here, and then we've got this little die cut that makes the outline. So the one that has the little outline is the one that needs to go on the adhesive sheet. And then we're gonna do the solid leaf in the granny apple green. And we're gonna do only 2 of these because I already cut and adhered one of them together, but I'm gonna show you how to put those together. Wow, we've been doing this almost an hour, I guess, because I'm doing all this die cutting. It takes a minute. That's all right. So we've got those 2, and we're gonna cut one more set real quick. One more set. Right here. All right. Nice little set here. Okay. So now, oops. Got our leaves here. Now we can put all of our die cuttings done. Woo, thank goodness. All right, so now we're gonna take these little pieces out here. Should probably use this. There we go. Put those dies back. Okay, so then for the leaves, you'll notice there's kind of like a fat end and a pointy end. So to put them together, this is how, there's one piece that's stuck. Get off of there. This little pink piece that won't let go. There we go. Okay. So with the fat end and then the piece that has the most green, those 2 are going to line up together. So we're just going to take our pointy piece on our take your pick tool and just kind of slowly glide it along an edge here, and then you should be able to pick up that backing and peel it right off. And then we're gonna take it and line up that pointy piece right at the bottom there, and then it should all line up into place, just like that. Okay, and there you have it. And we'll do it one more time. And just take that pointy piece and peel that backing off. And line that up with the fatter end here. And there's our leaf. Okay, so now we can finally start putting this together. So we need a couple glue dots and some dimensionals. Okay. So for the dimensionals here, we're just going to take our flowers, and you can kind of see on this one what we're going to do. So what I like to do is just kind of figure out where I want the flower to be, and then I took a couple dimensionals and put them on the bottom edge here, just like that. And then we're going to take the backings off and kind of line them up just like that. And then with the leaf, I'm going to take a glue dot, peel off a couple glue dots here. And I'm going to put a glue dot actually on the front right down here. So we're just going to press that on there. Oh, complete with dog hair. Always dog hair. And then for this one, I'm just going to kind of tuck the leaf under the side here as best I can. I put the dimensionals too far in. That's all right. Just there. So I'm going to put a leaf right there. And then we're going to put on some more dimensionals, just 2 on the bottom for each one is all you need really. So for this one, it'll go about there. I'll take the backing off. The dimensionals. This part comes together once you get the leaves cut out. That's the tricky part. So we want to end just a little bit to have some room for our leaf to go on there. So again, I'm going to put the glue dot on the bottom part of that leaf right there. And this one we'll kind of put towards here. Oops. Just want to finagle it however you want it there. Should have put my glue dot up higher. That's all right. Or my dimensional. All right. I want it where this dimensional is, so I'm going to peel it off just a little bit. There we go. All right. And then this one, put right here. I think I'm going to try to put this on before I put the dimensionals on. That might be a little bit better. It's a little easier that way. So we'll put the flower, the leaf, like right about there. And then we'll put the dimensionals on. I think that's a little easier than trying to fight the dimensionals, because then you can put the glue dots over the leaf if you need to. All right, and then we'll kind of just put that like right about there. Okay, now we're gonna take, I have a little strip here, a little 1/2 inch wide strip, and I have the words lots of love, and we're gonna take our Pebbled Path ink pad here, and we're gonna ink that up, and I'm gonna put it right about there. And I have my Banners Pick-a-Punch, which is retired, but I will never get rid of this thing because it makes the perfect little banner end. I'm terrible at doing that with my scissors, so I will keep this thing as long as I need to, as long as I can. Okay, so I made the little banner end here, and I'm going to kind of trim it down just a little bit so we can put that on our card front so it doesn't hit the flowers. And then we're just going to take some more dimensionals. I like to use these edge pieces for long strips like this because you can just put it down and then peel the backing off and you're done. And then this one, we're gonna line up kind of in the center from the top to the bottom, and we're gonna line this edge piece up. So you can fold this over and line it up that way. Press it down. Now we need to put our little bees on. So to do that, I'm just gonna take some liquid glue, and I have these tiny bee trinkets. I love these things. I'm almost out of them. I've been using them so much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm just gonna put a little dot of liquid glue where I want my bees to go. So right up here, and I would recommend doing it somewhere flat, like don't try to do it where it's like in between the die cuts because you need that bee to kind of lay flat. It'll be easier for it to stick where it needs to go. So then I'm going to take my putty end here of my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to grab a bee, and I'm going to have the ones on this side facing in, just have them all facing inward. So this one's going to go kind of upwards, and it'll stick to the putty tool. So just use your finger to kind of pull it off a little bit. And then we're gonna kind of get them about where we need them to go, and then we'll press them all down. Since we're using liquid glue, it won't instantly dry, so we have a little bit of time. And like that. Okay, so now we can kind of use our fingers to make sure we have it pressed down where we want it, and it'll take a minute to dry. just like that. Alrighty, that took forever, but it's cute, so it was worth it, I hope. Which one do you guys like the most? Do you like the cows or do you like the flowers? And remember, the cows, I will have pictures of both so you can see the difference, and I'll have the supply list for both when I send them out to my email list. This one's blank on the back side, but let me know which one's your favorite. Let me know, do you like the cows better? Do you like the flowers better? Don't forget to give me a little thumbs up and a heart and leave a comment, whether you're watching live or the replay, and I will put my face back on here. You like the flowers, Joan? I know some people don't like the cutesy stuff, so they'd much rather have like flowers and stuff, which I love them both. I think they're both bright and springy, but I'm glad you like the flowers. And now if you haven't played with the adhesive sheets before, I highly encourage you to go get some and give them a try. They're really great for those little intricate pieces so you don't get glue all over your fingers, and they stick great. Don't forget, start looking at the 2023 to 2025 in colors. And start keeping an eye on the inventory for those, because once those go, they're gone, and they're gone for good, and I'd hate for you guys to miss out on anything. Next week, I will have a project showing you how to use some scraps up. So a good scrap buster card right before I leave to go to On Stage. I'm so excited. And when I'm at On Stage, I will be sharing lots of videos, pictures, sneak peeks, whatever I can share, I'll be sharing on my Facebook page. So make sure to check in frequently so you can see what's going on. All right, guys. Well, thank you again so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this project. Don't forget again to give me a little thumbs up or heart and let me know in the comments below what you think, which one's your favorite. And don't forget to sign up for my email list if you haven't already, okay? All right, well, have a great week. Have lots of fun. I hope it gets warmer wherever you are. Here in Florida, it's actually starting to get cooler again. But hopefully you'll have a nice spring week this week before, and just enjoy all the weather, okay? All right, guys, well, have a great week. And until next time, be safe and happy stamping. Bye-bye.